YouTube, we are back with another video, guys. Now this is something unique. This is a type of video that we haven't done in a really long time. Today I'm going to be teaching the new gens, the noobs, how to mod your weapons in Warframe. I do have extensive knowledge on modding weapons. I do like to believe I know basically everything I need to know to make a weapon very good. If I miss a key detail, y'all let me know in the comment section below. No reason to get mad. All I'm trying to do is help players out because I get asked this question all the time. Thacker, how do I mod weapons and make my weapons do damage like yours? I'm telling you, these questions get asked all the time on my live streams. If y'all didn't know, I'm live Sunday to Thursday, 8 to 12 p.m. EST over on the Twitch. First link in the description. I would love to have y'all over there. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to start with the primary weapon. Right now, we are working with the Lanka. Don't know what this kind of weapon is. The first way you want to find out how to mod a weapon is figure out what kind of weapon it is. The Lanka looks to be like a sniper rifle. So sniper rifles, you want to build around crit, obviously. If you ever played any kind of game, you know sniper rifles are hitting for the head, baby. Let's just start off with before steel path, assuming you don't have these kinds of mods right here, right? You don't have galvanized mods. So what you're going to want to do is try to get as much multi-shot as possible. Anytime I start to build a weapon, I always start with multi-shot. Multi-shot is always where you're going to want to start with. Let's just go ahead and put on a split chamber for now. So what the split chamber is going to do is give you multi-shot. It literally just makes you do more damage. It just makes the projectile turn into more projectiles. A 1.9 right here. What you want to look for on the left side, crit chance, your crit multiplier, and your status chance. Since this is a sniper, you don't even really need to look at this to know what it is. There's a few exceptions in the game, but for the most part, snipers are crit chance, crit damage is what you want to build around. Now you're going to want some raw damage. You got your flat damage, and then you got your multi-shot right here. You're going to want to put some crit chance on this thing, so we're going to put point strike. If you have critical delay, you would want to use critical delay over this. I have a tutorial on my channel of how to do these, but these are very cookie cutter mods that you're going to use for a lot of builds, so you really do need to get these. I guess I'll link like the video above. Now what you're going to want to get is crit damage. Crit damage is vital sense, also very early game. This is about what you would use on any like critical assault rifle, anything that shoots a lot if you're building it around crit. There are mods known as 60-60 mods, right? It means it has a 60% of an element and a 60% of status chance. So it gives you status chance and it gives you an element at the same time. For this weapon in particular, you don't want to use a 60-60. If you're using a weapon that shoots a lot of shots, has a lot of ammo capacity, and you're shooting a lot, you would want to use this. But where we're using a sniper rifle, you want flat damage. So what that means is you want the 90 mods. The reason you want these is because for status effects to be good, as you can see right here, it has a 25% status effect. You have to be shooting a lot of shots. We're using a sniper rifle for this example in particular, so we're not shooting a lot of shots to even inflict enough status damage for status to really even matter that much. Oh, this is a big issue. Okay, so what I did was I just applied the exact same mods to a different weapon. The only reason I did that is because the other weapon that we were using, I don't have any polarity on it, which if you don't know what that is, whenever you click R3 and you use polarization, you can use these things called forma. What that does is when you have a mod that matches the same symbol in the top right corner on the polarity, it'll split the amount in half. So how this is taking up 14 capacity on our mod. You stick it on one that has the same symbol, it is now only taking 7 capacity. You need these to make maxed builds, but as a low rank player, you probably don't have your mods even like maxed out, so that's not as big as an issue for you. I just don't have any mods that aren't maxed out, so I need a weapon that I can actually have polarity, so I can give you an example. So let me show you what my base Rubico does. No mods. 9,013, 13, 13, about 13,000. It was actually doing about the same damage as that last sniper that we had. Same thing applies, even though it's a different sniper. You're gonna do those exact same mods. Building weapons is usually like rinse and repeat. They vary a little bit. Once you find the formula, which you're looking at the formula right now, it's kind of just like copy paste almost. So look, just with these mods alone, let me show you what we can do. So we were hitting for 16,000 was the most shot that we hit. 94,000 right there. Oh, that was 183,000. We just hit from 16,000 being our biggest number to 183,000 just with those mods alone. But it's going to get a lot better. So what we're going to build for is known as viral. The reason being is the more stacks of viral that you put on a target, the more raw damage that you do. Most builds either build around viral or corrosive in this game. And the way that you make viral is you go cold and you go toxin. It does 892 damage, but it says viral increases damage to health up to 325 25%, especially as a new player. I say always just build it around viral. And then once you get past steel path is kind of when you like start branching off into corrosive. There's other elements that you can do like radiation, gas, magnetic, and blast. They're very underutilized, and just truthfully, they're just not as good. Slash used to be pretty good. It's no longer as good as it once was. They really nerfed Slash into the floor. So just with adding those two on, let's see how much damage we do now. 225,000, biggest number we've seen yet. You see how I'm shooting them a bunch of times and we only got one stack of viral on the enemy right now. Not a lot of status chance. So that's exactly why you want raw damage. You've got two more spots that you can use now. This is really where it comes down to what you would prefer. So for me personally, a Bane mod is really good. Bane of Grenier. Now what these Bane mods do is it literally just makes you do more damage depending on the factions. But the only inconvenience is you have to, like, say you're going against Grenier one mission, the next mission you're going against Corpus. You would have to switch this mod out, or you would have to have different configurations with Grenier on one, you know, like a Bane of Corpus on the other one. As you see, we're already hitting for consistently more damage. We're hitting over, that was a 370,000 just with that alone. So with the Bane mod on, you can see it makes a big difference, right? 300,000. Now you've got one more mod that you can put anything on. There's these new mods. I would probably put this mod on just because it gives you more crit damage and a little bit of status chance. We'll put on like Stormbringer by itself. This is basically a maxed build. By the way, these are the highest level enemies that I can spawn into. If you don't feel like this is killing a lot of enemies very fast, it's a level 190 and they have overguard. I always just spawn in the toughest enemies to kill. 392,000. That was almost 400k right there. So that is how you would build a sniper rifle on that Rubico, the one that I was showing y'all. We could really dig into a deep rabbit hole on like how to do more damage if you really wanted to do more damage. Like, look. So check this out. So with Frost, 447,000 using Frost, 900,000 using Frost. This is just the power that your Warframes have to enhance your amount of gunplay. 1 million right there. Okay, so let's go back to the Phantasma. This is what I'm going to consider a status type of weapon. Now, I know it's a status weapon because it is the Phantasma, but also because the crit chance is so low. Crit chance is 11%, 22% status chance. It also says beam weapon up here. Beam weapons are typically status weapons most of the time. If you're going to build around status, you actually build it the exact same way. You need some flat damage. So you just want to go point blank. Now, this is where things get a little bit different. So you've got your raw damage right here. Now, how I was saying you don't want to use those 60-60 mods on one-shot weapons because you're not applying status. You want to use 60-60 mods as much as possible on status weapons. The reason being is you need as much status chance as possible. You notice how we only have 22% status chance per projectile, which this is a shotgun, so it's shooting projectiles, so it's a little bit different. Multi-shot. You need health chamber. Gotta have your multi-shot. Always start with your multi-shot. I did flat damage first this time. Gotta have your multi-shot, then your flat damage, then you can go to your 60-60. My fault. But once again, we're gonna start with viral. So we're gonna go cold and toxin 60-60, and that's gonna give us a viral you see right down here. We're also going to put on Elementalist. Now, there's a rifle Elementalist. So what this Elementalist does is it gives you status damage. You need to have status damage if you're building a weapon around just, you know, absolute status. So it kills. So your statuses are actually inflicting as much damage as possible. What you're going to want to do from this point is have heat by itself. So when you're building a status weapon, you want heat by itself. The reason that you want heat is like the #1 status damage that you can do. And you want to put as many heat procs on a target. So let me give you an example. So I come over here to these enemies. The reason that this enemy is dying right now and it's taking tick damage is because of that heat that you're stacking up on there. If it wasn't for heat damage, they would not be burning away like this. Now this last spot is your flex spot. You could go another Grenier. So let's just do a cleanse Grenier, another Grenier Bane mod. And this is just basically giving more damage to the enemy type. Once again, the same thing for like the other ones. The only thing that changes is a couple of the like elemental mods basically. Now this is a very cookie cutter build right here. The viral is giving us up to 325% damage when we max the stacks. We have so much status. It's only a 62 status chance, but this is a shotgun, you got to remember. So we're inflicting status so quickly. The heat is your big thing on status weapons. When you're building something for status, you're building for heat. And these are the highest level enemies that I can spawn in the game. If you're a new player, you're not even going to be going against these kind of enemies. And this isn't using my Warframe. This isn't using anything that's doing more damage. Just look what happens when I use my Warframe. Let's just say we're using Frost, for example. Not even a good status increaser. Now, there's one more type of weapon I want to show y'all how to build, and we're going to consider this like a hybrid kind of weapon. And they're really easy to build too. So we're on two ends of the spectrum right now that I've just showed y'all basically. I showed y'all what pure status looks like, and I showed you all what pure crit chance looks like. So now what you're going to want to do is find the best of both worlds. Meet in the middle. Hybrid builds are my favorite kind of weapons to use in this game. The Ceto's also a shotgun, but the same applies to ARs. The same applies to pistols too. This applies for, I'm not going to say melees. If y'all want to see the melee version, y'all let me know in the comments. But the same applies to every type of weapon minus melee. Let's go ahead and start with your shotgun damage, your multi-shot, and then you're going to go to your point blank. You got to get your raw damage. Well, like I said, we're doing the best of both worlds here, boys. Now you're going to go your crit chance. You know, you get, we're going to do the critical deceleration. This is the same thing as crit delay. Now we're going to put on our ravage. So we got a crit chance, crit damage. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want status chance. You want 60-60 mods. The only time I use those 90% mods is on one-shot builds. How I said, like, they're opposite ends of the spectrum. You only use these 90% mods when you're trying to do a ton of damage in a singular bullet. Cookie cutter, you're going to go viral. So you're going to go cold. We're right here, baby. Back to Toxic Barrage. Like I was telling y'all earlier, I love the new magnetic mods that came out in 1999. These are brand new mods that were just added into the game. So we're going to go magnetic. So we have magnetic and viral. I love this little combo together. I think it's such a sleeper combo. It also gives us fire rate. So it's making up for the negative fire rate that we have for critical deceleration. Cleanse the Grenier. There you go. If y'all made it this far in the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Comment what got you all into Warframe. I'll pick one person in the comment section to get them every single one of the 60-60 mods for a particular weapon. Actually, you know what? No, I'll pick two people in the comment section to do that. If you made it this far in the video, you're probably pretty investment. You have to be subbed. You have to leave a like. Also, join the Discord, man. Second link in the description. With that being said, let's test out this build. Preferably, you want to aim for the head most of the time, right? This is a weapon that is different, but you would build the weapons the exact same way. You would put the right mods on it. This has a unique trait where I just shoot this down and then it applies all these statuses on these enemies. Oh, that's even a one shot right there. That's a one shot right there. That's a one shot right there. Thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. I love you guys, and I will see you all in the next video.